All right, let's finish the 26th chapter of A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. I'm going to draw back and begin at the beginning of the newspaper article that the boss is reading. So, local smoke and cinders. Sir Lancelot met up with the old King Agrivance of Ireland unexpectedly last week over on the moor south of Sir Balmoral Le Merveilleus's Hogdasher. The widow has been notified. Expedition number 3 will start about the 1st of next Megnonth. A search F8R Sir Sagramore Le de Sirius. It is in command of the renowned Knight of the Red Lawns, assisted by Sir Persant of Indy, who is compete 90, intelligent, courteous, and in every way a brick, and further assisted by Sir Palmidus the Saracen, who is no huckleberry himself. This is no picnic. These boys mean biz ein ampersand s. The readers of the Hosanna will regret to learn that the Haddon, some of the popular Sir Charlotus of Gaul, who during his 4-week stay at the Bull and Halibut, this city, has won every heart by his polished manners and elegant conversation, will pull out today for home. Give us another call, Charlie. The business end of the funeral of the late Sir Dalliance, the Duke's son of Cornwall, killed in an encounter with the giant of the knotted bludgeon last Tuesday on the borders of the plain of enchantment, was at the hands of the ever-affable and efficient Mumble, Prince of Three Urtakers. Then, whom there exists none by whom it were a most satisfying pleasure to have the last sad officers performed. Give him a trial. The communal thanks of the Hosanna office are due, fro editor, down to devil, to the ever co-us and thoughtful Lord High Stede D of the palace's third assistant, for the several sauce of ice cream a quality calculated to make the E of the recipients humid with girt ood, and it done it. When this administration wants to chalk up a desirable name for early promotion, the Hosanna would like a chance to suggest. The demoiselle Irene Clulap of South Assalot is visiting her uncle, the popular host of the Cattleman's Boarding House, Liver Lane, this city. Young Barker, the bellows mender, is home again, and looks much improved by his vacation round up among the outlying smithies. See his ad. Of course, it was good enough journalism for a beginning. I knew that quite well, and yet it was somehow disappointing. The court circular pleased me better. Indeed, its simple and dignified respectfulness was a distinct refreshment to me after all those disgraceful familiarities. But even it could have been improved. Do what one may, there is no getting an air of variety into a court circular. I acknowledge that. There is a profound monotonousness about its facts that baffles and defeats one's sincerest efforts to make them sparkle and enthuse. The best way to manage, in fact the only sensible way, is to disguise repetitiousness of fact under variety of form. Skim your fact each time and lay a new circle of words. It deceives the eye. You think it is a new fact. It gives you the idea that the court is carrying on like everything. This excites you, and you drain the whole column with a good appetite, and perhaps never notice that it's a barrel of soap made out of a single beam. Clarence's way was good. It was simple. It was dignified. It was direct and businesslike. All I say is, it was not the best way. Court circular. On Monday, the king rode in the park. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the same. However, take the paper by and large. I was vastly pleased with it. Little crudities of a mechanical sort were observable here and there, but there were not enough of them to amount to anything, and it was good enough Arkansas proofreading anyhow, and better than was needed in Arthur's day and realm. As a rule, the grammar was leaky, and the construction more or less lame, But I did not much mind these things. They are common defects of my own, and one mustn't criticize other people on grounds where he can't stand perpendicular himself. I was hungry enough for literature to want to take down the whole paper at this one meal, but I got only a few bites, and then had to postpone because the monks around me besieged me so with eager questions. What is this curious thing? What is it for? Is it a handkerchief, saddle blanket, part of a shirt? What is it made of? How thin is it? And how dainty and frail? And how it rattles? Will it wear? Do you think? And won't the rain injure it? Is it writing that appears on it? Or is it only ornamentation? They suspected it was writing because those among them who knew how to read Latin and had a smattering of Greek recognized some of the letters, but they could make nothing out of the result as a whole. I put my information in the simplest form I could. It is a public journal. I will explain what that is another time. It is not cloth. It is made of paper. Sometime I will explain what paper is. The lines on it are reading matter, and not written by hand, but printed. By and by I will explain what printing is. 1,000 of these sheets have been made, all exactly like this, in every minute detail. They can't be told apart. And they all broke out with exclamation of surprise and admiration. 1,000! Verily a mighty work, a year's work by many men. No, merely a day's work for a man and a boy. They crossed themselves and whiffled out a protective prayer or two. Ah, a miracle, a wonder, dark work of enchantment. I let it go at that. Then I read in a low voice, to as many as could crowd their shaven heads within hearing distance, part of the account of the miracle of the restoration of the well, and was accompanied by astonished and reverent ejaculations all through. Ah, how true, amazing, amazing. These be the very haps as they happened in marvelous exactness. And might they take this strange thing in their hands and feel it, and feel of it, and examine it. They would be very careful, yes. So they took it, handling it cautiously and devoutly, as if it had been some holy thing come from some supernatural region, and gently felt its texture, caressed its pleasant smooth surface with lingering touch, and scanned the mysterious characters with fascinated eyes. These grouped bent heads, these charmed faces, these sparkling eyes, how beautiful to me! For was not this my darling, and was not all this mute wonder and interest and homage a most eloquent tribute and unforced compliment to it? I knew then how mother feels when women, whether strangers or friends, take her new baby and close themselves about it with one eager impulse, and bend their heads over it in a tranced adoration that makes all the rest of the universe vanish out of their consciousness, and be as if it were not, for that time. I knew how she feels, and that there is no other satisfied ambition, whether of king, conqueror, or poet, that ever reaches halfway to that serene far summit, or yields half so divine a contentment. During all the rest of the seance my paper traveled from group to group, all up and down and about that huge hall, and my happy eye was upon it always, and I sat motionless, steeped in satisfaction, drunk with enjoyment. Yes, this was heaven. I was tasting it once, if I might never taste it more. And that's the end of chapter 26.